Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shouting Over. What do you want to call this one? I'm going to call it what I called the last one, and call it an SOS Extra, because
Ooh.
it's not really a
I
news
like it.
thing, and it's not
Branding.
really a regular thing. So, hello, everybody, and welcome to SOS Extra, because we're not going to talk about news, and we're not going to talk about Freebird Games 2011 Indie Classic To the Moon, which is June's Game of the Month. Instead, what we're going to do is shamelessly rip a bit off of the Waypoint Radio podcast that they did about a month ago, that we've been talking about doing for ages, and talk about our top 10 games of all time. We're going to look at what the outliers in that list are, and maybe what games in that list you wouldn't expect to be on anybody else's list, either in the group or just in the world, maybe, if you've got some odd ones on there. I'm your host, Mark, and I'm here with Dylan. How you doing, Dylan?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm actually doing okay. I'm really, really hot, but I'm wearing some pajama
too.
bottoms instead of shorts because my shorts are in the wash. And I don't know, they're quite light and airy. My only shorts at the moment are jean shorts, and though they're quite stylish, they're incredibly tight. Yeah,
Hot.
it's not great. I need to maybe go buy some new shorts. I'm also here with Jack. That was Jack laughing there. How's it going, Jack?
Hello, yes, I too am also quite warm.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a standard refrain. Luckily, I can't hear any fan noise anywhere, so at least I respect that everyone here is sacrificing comfort for the sake of good audio.
Yeah, man.
I do have an open window. That might we might get the occasional seagull. It seems to be seagull season.
Hey, I saw some seagulls in the Peak District yesterday, which I thought was a bit weird, considering you can't get much further from the sea.
I always got confused when I saw seagulls in Nottingham. Makes no sense. Why are they there? There's no sea.
It's quite a big river in
Stupid
Nottingham,
seagulls.
but in the Peak District, well, yeah,
They're not river gulls.
you make a fair point. They're not. Chor, what do you think about seagulls?
Malice and anger, apparently.
They're alright. They're a bit annoying.
They're well big. Have you ever seen one up close?
They are pretty big. They can
Yeah,
really
man.
terrify you. Or some kids, at least.
Did you just ask, have you ever seen one up close about a seagull?
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you not, do people not see seagulls up close in the UK?
I don't know. I don't like fucking sneak up on them and try and get a good look. Like, what are you
That's how
doing
you
to
anger
seagulls,
a
you big
seagull.
creeper?
To be fair, I mean, I'm from Cardiff. They're everywhere.
And that's by
And
the
I
sea.
used to live quite near the coast. Man, seagulls are the worst. Right. Do you know what's better than seagulls, though?
Good games.
Podcasts. Oh, damn.
You both made perfectly good answers. I mean, I would take either one of those things over a seagull. So
I don't know, what if you could, train the seagull? You can't train a podcast.
It's
yeah,
actually
but a
goats,
podcast
isn't
shits
it?
less.
Nah.
What was that, Joel?
It's actually goats. Goats are better than seagulls.
There we go. Actually, Chor has got the right answer. So, Chor, speaking of goats, games of all time. Why don't you run us down your goat?
Shit.
That's not what GOAT stands for.
What? It is.
It is.
Fuck.
I saw some goats yesterday in the Peak District as well. They were playing PlayStation.
What?
Yeah, man. You know when?
What's happening?
You know that bit in Adventure Time where the deer takes off its hooves and it's got human hands and it's terrifying? It's just like
Yeah.
that. They were playing PlayStation with human hands.
But what did they take off?
Their little front hooves.
It's a seagull!
Goats. I said I saw some goats as well.
Ah, shit, okay. I thought this is why I was confused, because seagulls don't have any game-playing appendages. It's obvious that goats wear gloves.
You're right. It is. I'm sorry. I should have made myself more clear.
What
All right
the
then,
fuck
Chor.
is going on?
I'm going to take a wild guess, Chor, and say that on your list there is Dota 2,
Yes.
there is an Uncharted game, and there's a Mass Effect game.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
those are like the mainstream ones that I have on my list, but I do
The
have
Witcher 1.
mainstream ones.
Mate,
No,
you
no.
just got predicted, son.
No,
All right,
no Witcher.
I don't know the rest. I can't guess. Sure, run us down. It don't have to be in a particular order if you don't want to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand.
I've got like the big ones that really affected my gaming career, so to say. Experiences, really good experiences. So one of them is EVE Online, of course. I had a really short stint as far as MMOs go, playing EVE Online, and it was a really, really good experience, I think. Apart from some of the grindy aspects of the game, but it was really, really fun to play with just lots and lots of other people, just joining corporations in the game and going to massive fights. That's one of them, and of course Dota 2 is the other one where I found lots of people to play together with, and so these games that I'm listing have kind of like a common theme where it's a lot of bonding experiences that I've had with people online.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet, I think.
That's quite nice.
Yeah,
I don't do that. I don't bond with people online.
You don't play online games, do you?
Not if I have to play it with somebody else in a cooperative manner. I don't mind playing
Quite sad.
Quake in an anonymous fashion.
Yeah, that's fair. You just want to not work with other people on the internet.
Maybe I should. I'm not very good at being able to commit my time to someone else that regularly.
Okay.
That's more a me problem. Sorry, Shaw.
Poor Katie.
Dude.
Anyway, the next one is Bad Company 2. Again, same theme. Big experiences online. I met two of my closest online friends playing that game. I haven't talked to them in quite a while though, because we've drifted apart. But that game is another one where it was just a lot of fun, just to jump in a helicopter and just shoot some fools and just basically own the map because you can fly really well in the game. And the last one you might not expect is Gran Turismo 5. That's where I just spent a lot of time learning to drive better. Even then, I still didn't really get really good because it's really hard to be a good driver in an online game.
Can you even drive yet?
God damn it. Yes.
Savage, mate. Holy shit.
I've been able to for a while.
I can't. It's alright.
Yeah, but you don't play cooperative online game. Wait, fuck, driving games aren't cooperative. Shit.
Apart from that one mode in Trackmania Turbo.
With the driving.
That is a weird mode. Fuck that mode.
That's cooperative driving at Spanish, mate.
It was pretty fun. I quite liked it.
Is that the one where you control somebody else? Or something like
What?
No, it's where you steer together, and so if you
Yeah,
both
yeah,
steer in the
that's
same direction, you steer harder.
that? Okay, yeah.
It like averages out your steer, basically, I think.
Yeah. That's nuts. Nothing like that in Gran Turismo. Unfortunately.
No, like Gran Turismo is like pretty hardcore.
Yeah, it's really hard to be a master at it, I think. But it's nothing serious like iRacing or anything like that.
It's not like an actual job that you have to pay for, which I'm fairly certain is what iRacing is.
Yeah. And you get penalized for being a bad driver as well. If you just crash into other people, you get minus points. It's pretty bad. I did play that as well.
So I guess what other that was EVE Online, Dota 2, Bad Company 2, GT5. What else you got?
I haven't. So of course, there's going to be Witcher 3. That's a given.
Right.
Really.
Yeah. Is that your favourite of the Witchers?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I quite liked all the characters being in the game because the previous games had some characters. It's not not the whole ensemble. And then Uncharted Uncharted 1, I'd say, not even 2, because 2 is the objectively better game of the series. But number 1 was just a really good adventure action game. It was I replayed that so many times, and I got a platinum trophy on it as well. Yeah, it's just got that charm that was not available in any games at that time. I think it was the time.
Was it just something about like waggling the DualShock 3 to get across those balance beams that just made you think, man, this is one of the best games I've ever played?
No, it's got that 6-axis balancing thing, right? Not even.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's it. No game has ever used that gimmick ever again.
Yeah, because it was bad. No, that's legit.
Yeah, I don't really have indie small games that are on my list. I don't think nothing hugely interesting, but they were important games to me. I feel like.
I don't know.
it's fair. I mean,
Sorry, Dylan.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know. I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I'm fairly certain no one else is going to have EVE Online on their list.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, yeah.
I definitely don't.
Yeah, that feels like a chore-ass video game.
Yeah, that's just a job. Like you said with iRacing, EVE Online is just a job at the end of the day.
It was a little bit like that because you have like a alert app on your phone. Well, you can download it on your phone where if you join this corporation, they just send out alerts for like big fleets that you have to join up and go and fight because like some other people are stealing your territory and stuff like that. It's a really cool system, but it can be a chore. But it's not really a big deal if you don't get on when they send out the alerts because there's thousands of other people who would do it. But it was great fun.
How long were you into EVE Online?
Maybe
It's like half a year, right?
Yeah. It was during
Mate.
university, some year, third, I think.
It was second year, I think.
Right.
Dylan remembers it better than you do.
It was either end of second year or beginning of third year.
Okay. It was in that transitional period. That's why I didn't remember.
Yeah, potentially.
Mate. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think on that is the outlier? Sure. Of all of those games, which one do you look at and be like, that's the one that doesn't quite fit in with the rest?
It's got to be Gran Turismo, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know. Gran Turismo is kind of similar to Dota 2 as well, which are both like kind of very skill-based games. In terms of like honing your craft and like just being good at something.
Only fucking lunatics like it.
Yeah, there you go.
There's overlapping Venn diagrams, I'd say.
Is one of those overlaps games chore likes?
No, that's the middle of it.
That's just the whole box, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I meant, you fuckers.
It's like the circle on the left is really skill-based games where you have to hone your craft. The circle on the right is things only complete lunatics enjoy, and the bit in the middle that overlaps is chore coming in like Dota 2 stickers.
Driving a car.
Driving a car.
Hats.
Yes, chore wearing a hat. And then buying a new hat for money.
Wearing several hats.
Hats are good. Hats are good stuff. You can trade them. It's really good. You can trade them for real money. It's good shit.
Man, fuck Steam.
No, there is definitely, you can see the overlap between Dota 2 and EVE, can't you?
Yeah.
Video games with a bullshit economy that exists outside of the actual game.
Things that are worth more than the Venezuelan dollar? I don't know what they use. Venezuelan money.
Why Venezuela?
They got a tanking economy at the moment.
They're
all using crypto coin because their economy's gone to shit. I think that's Venezuela.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Way to keep up with world affairs, guys.
I know
Mate,
they used crypto, but that's about it.
Yeah, their money's worth like practically nothing at the moment, so lots of people really got into Bitcoin at that height of Bitcoin.
That's why crypto is good, man. Doesn't rely on governments. Crypto.
No, it just relies on other people.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you could definitely trust other people.
no, eventually it will balance it out. I mean, oh, you're talking about like fraud and scams and stuff like that.
No, just,
Just
being deprecating of human nature in general.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I've got a mate who's got into Sweatcoin.
What?
Which
is that fucking fitness thing?
Yeah, it's a cryptocurrency
nice.
you earn through a pedometer you download on your phone, and as you make steps, you earn more sweat coins.
Bruh.
Fuck, I walk so much.
Dylan, get on.
So I thought it was fucking dope, and then it turns out they only let you earn like 5 coins a day, and we were walking for like 7 hours yesterday, and like properly knackered. I think someone had a proper pedometer with them, like a Garmin fitness thing. And they said we walked 15k, and he only earned 5 coins. And apparently, you'll also only earn 5 coins if you walk like 3k.
Oh,
So
man.
there's a daily limit on it, which is a
damn.
fucking bummer. But
What's the exchange
if you
rate, though?
well, it's like if you earn 20,000 coins, you get an iPhone. But that would involve you
What?
walking the maximum possible amount of coins a day for like 11 years.
The world economy will probably be gone by then, right?
Can't you just wear like several pedometers?
Just have several phones on you, all
Yeah.
running the sweat coin. But then I don't think you'd be earning. I think it's like sweat coins per account. I don't know. I don't think you can pool various accounts worth of sweat coins. It
It
seems
sounds like a bad idea.
most of the offers that weren't that iPhone look like things that you could get for free on Groupon. I'm not quite sure it's actually the best thing in the world, but he finds it as quite good. It's quite a novel fitness tracker. This isn't about video games at all.
Yeah, how have we done this? Fuck.
Crypto did this.
Mate, I briefly considered downloading a crypto miner because I was like, I've got a 1080 Ti and I'm not in the house for like 8 hours a day and sleep for a further 8. That's 16 hot hours a day of mining I could be doing. I was like, no, this is a terrible idea.
You also pay like electricity, right?
Yeah, that was the part where I was like, actually, I'm fairly certain they recently came out being like, Bitcoin has inflated so much that it now costs more to mine it than it's worth.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Oh,
fuck
what?
that.
No way.
Like you can mine it
Well,
underneath the price, but only like certain places, like
Yeah.
that weird Russian mine in a hill or whatever.
like, Bitcoin itself is bad to mine out, but there are other coins that are still profitable.
Ethereum, that's one of them, right? Fucking nail. Why are we talking about cryptocurrencies?
Dylan, why don't you tell us about your top 10 games of all time? Sure, that was a short-ass list. I loved it.
Thanks.
That
Mine's
was
going to be
solid.
really obvious. I reckon you could predict almost every single game I've got written down.
Kung Fu Chaos.
Ah, shit, I don't. I'm going to put that down now. Kung Fu Chaos.
Is that now 11
Yeah,
games?
No, I only had 8 because the rest of the games I was thinking of were just like, it's too typical. Like Mario 64 on the DS, I really loved that, but that's just, it was alright, meh, that kind of thing.
That's fair.
So I kind of went, I think, similar things to Chore. I mostly just had games that not necessarily, and I feel like this is probably the same for everyone, games that I didn't necessarily, they're not necessarily like great or anything, but I've had good experiences with them, and that's why I like them. Like, I played them with people or whatever. So obviously,
Hang on,
all of
it's
the
worth
Halos.
saying, I think every single game on my list is a single-player game,
Oh, man.
which is fucking sad.
Yeah, but you're also the far more like in-depth game person on this podcast.
Yeah.
The rest of us are a little bit just like games, and you're like, I know every single fucking game. Here's the news. Whereas the rest of us are kind of pathetic. Let's face it.
I don't think you're pathetic.
You know what I mean, with regards to knowing anything about games.
I do. Okay, sorry, Dylan, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's just I looked at my list and was like, oh.
These aren't all specifically multiplayer. A few of them are. Okay, so obviously, I've put down Halo's :all because I feel like all of them have got a place on. Like I've played through all of them a lot, and I love them all. I'd say if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Halo 2, which is one of, I think, actually a standout in itself, in that lots of people sort of don't like Halo 2.
Yeah, that's quite an outlier.
But that was sort of, so I played Halo 1, but I feel like Halo 2 is the one I always have when I think back to Halo. That's like going over that bridge after the first time you see a scarab and stuff like that in Halo 2. And I remember specifically at one of the times I played it, there's, because it's like a suspension bridge, you can run up those cables, and I feel like everybody does that. You run up as far as you can and then eventually you fall off. But I ran up to the top of those, jumped off, and hijacked a Banshee. And it's still my number one gaming achievement, hijacking a Banshee on that level of Halo and then flying it into the tunnel. It doesn't fit, but I flew it into the tunnel. So it's just like that sort of thing, having memories of playing that. And specifically, I played all, like, at least the early Halos with my brother. So those kind of experiences, I think, are why I like Halo so much. Because I doubt I would have got into it had it not been a good way for me to bond with my brother. And, like, I played it with my dad as well. And, like, my godfather and stuff. So it was just that sort of thing. So that's, like, I think often the theme of why I like these games. So, like, for the same reason, I've got Left 4 Dead 2 on there. Because I played that with my brother all the time. And then, obviously, us guys played it a lot together.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. I do have some top 10. If it was a top 10 moments of all time, I'd definitely say, like, every single time you nail a sweet fucking charge and instant wipe somebody in Left 4 Dead 2 is...
And then hearing the other room scream or cheer. It's just so fun, isn't it?
Yeah, so good.
So then I've also got both Titanfalls on there. Again, I didn't really want to... I think I like both of them for different reasons. The story mode in Titanfall 2 is incredible. And I mean, the multiplayer is, I think most people would agree, is better than the first one. But the first one was so unique and so original for a multiplayer, and I was so fucking good at it that I really like it. So I've just got both of them down. And I don't think I'd be able to pick one as a specific one. And then, yeah, so things like, I think obvious games like Dishonored I've talked about on here a lot. Towerfall, which I spent a good chunk of time playing, and I've played that a lot with you guys as well. Again, like, it's, I think, mostly fun because it's one of those fun party games.
But didn't you also play, like, all the single player for it?
I did, because it's fucking sick. It's a really good game. I don't know if I actually ever finished the DLC.
Right, yeah, they had that DLC expansion, didn't they?
Because that came out like well after I stopped playing it, and then I never just got back into it. And like a similar thing with Risk of Rain. So like, I've not played that with many people, but me and you played that a lot, Mark, and you know that. But that again was one of those things. I think I sort of tie it to a time quite distinctly in my head, and I played that a lot, and it was, I don't know, impactful. It was sort of one of those first. It wasn't the first, but it was one of those first games that sort of cemented my appreciation of indie games at the moment. And like we've spoken about that before on this podcast, it was one of those ones that was really like, yeah, you know what? I can play this.
Yeah, it's definitely it showcases a different kind of experience to AAA games, and it does it in a very, very like polished manner, even though but it also kind of had the self-respect to be like different enough and kind of fucked up enough around the edges that you go like, yeah, man, this is a fucking indie game, but it's legit. Yeah, Risk of Rain is a huge shout.
And then what else have I got in there? So then other than that, I've got Diablo 3, same reasons, just good experience with it. I mean, it's probably not even the game that I like. It's playing the game again. So
sitting around with 3 other people playing Diablo 3.
Yeah. And then Pokemon Ruby, just because I used to play all those Pokemons a lot. And again, Pokemon Ruby, I think, was the standout for the series for me, just in that I guess I played it at sort of a... That's just the one that stuck with me. That was the one I played when you've always got... We've spoken about, again, before on the show, there's sort of a nostalgic period for games that I think everyone has. Yeah. And I think Pokemon Ruby is just the one I was playing then. And maybe just about Diamond. But I think that might just be because that was the last one I played. But that sort of area is... I mean, Pokemon's fun. People understand why I like Pokemon.
Yeah, of course.
No, doesn't explain what Pokemon is.
Well, it's like Digimon, but with...
You bastard.
It's not like Digimon. I've watched things about this, and it's very different to Digimon. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And the last one I've got... So this is probably my standout one. And to be honest, I've not even... I think it's on here because I've not really played it. I've not played it in ages. I barely remember it, but there's this... It's one of those things that's always been in my head, and sometimes I've forgotten the name, but it's still been like, there was this weird fucking game I used to play that was just fucking mayhem. And I think I've actually spoken about it with you guys before, and it's this game called Pandemonium. And I can't remember
if this has come up before.
I think it was for the PlayStation, but it might have also been on other things. I can't remember what we had it on. It was either like PC, PlayStation, or some weird thing. But it was just this weird, like 2.5D platformer, and you just fucking jumped around. There was some weird magic nonsense, and so it was like crazy sort of what's the word? Sets, I guess, not sets, but set pieces.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just have this. So there's this distinct memory of certain just jumping around as these weird 3D characters, and it had this weird like map system, sort of like in Mario, you'd run between the worlds on the map.
Yeah.
So it had that thing, but it was in this odd 2.5D again, and just the fact that that weird shit stuck with me, I feel like I had to put it on there, because if a game can impact you that much and you barely remember it, then it's got to be one of your main ones, right?
Yeah.
That's probably my standout.
Shit, I'm looking at this actually, and it's not what I thought it was. I think actually maybe this one hasn't come up before.
I've definitely spoken about this before.
Looks fucking terrifying. The character designs of this thing are next.
Yeah, it was like before they could actually do it good, but they still tried.
Yeah, I googled just to see what they look like, and there's some watermelons in the level that you can jump on.
Yeah,
what is?
It was a weird game. I didn't really ever understand it, but I played it, and I think one of the things that ties a lot of these games together for me is that a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them have quite unique sort of traversal things and like quite fluid traversal.
Yeah.
So like obviously Titanfall, Pandemonium's got this. It's got this weird feel to it. I don't know. I don't know if you can tell from watching or looking at the stuff, but there was just kind of, I don't know, one of those feels to it that you could move around a lot. And then Kung Fu Chaos again, weird. Towerfall, definitely a big part of the enjoyment for me was the movement. So,
totally.
There's that. I think that ties it together. I think I care a lot more about the experience I have with a game rather than the experience a game gives me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not really too interested in story games, which I think we've established before.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mine.
Yeah,
Sorry
like you're... No, you didn't take that long at all. No, I think you're right, it is interesting, because like everything, a lot of the games you said there were very much games that were like mechanically very broad.
Yeah.
Like,
oh shit, special shout out to Overgrowth.
Yeah, like again, that's another thing, it's like mechanically very broad, but nothing there that you really were like, wasn't like Chore saying with The Witcher 3, like I loved all the characters being there in this huge world and being Geralt in this massive adventure.
Mhm.
It was like, man, fucking grappling hooks are sick.
Grappling hooks
Like-
are sick. Like speedrunners nearly made it on there.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
Like yeah, like even some of the simplest games on that list, I guess, like Diablo, was still, you didn't say you connected like to it as like, oh, I love the loot grind, I like seeing the numbers go up. It was like, no, it was dumb to play that with 3 other people.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like that's exactly it. There's obviously I do enjoy the story sometimes, and like you've heard me speaking about sort of Halo and the sort of universe in that, and I really enjoy it. But I only enjoy it because I enjoyed the game. I don't think I'd care otherwise. It's a good story, but I wouldn't ever get into it had it not been that it was just a fun experience for me to play.
Huh, that's really interesting. I don't know, like what? I guess there's an obvious answer there for what wouldn't you expect to be on anyone else's list. Because Pandemonium looks like some wild shit. But like, what do you think on that is like the outlier? What do you think out of those? Like, you've just broken down why a lot of those games are on that list and what they mean to you. So what do you think is actually, looking at it, the outlier from that?
Well, I mean, I guess Pokemon, right? Because that's the least. I think there's the least that ties that together. But that again wasn't even. It's not like I enjoyed the story of that. It was just. But that, I guess I enjoyed it more for. I don't even know. Like,
Because Pokemon's fucking good.
yeah, Pokemon is. To me at least, I feel like Pokemon is the most separate because there's no multiplayer aspect to it. I guess all the other ones, other than Dishonored, and I know Pandemonium, but I feel like I played Pandemonium with my brother. We just took it in turns.
Yeah.
But all the other ones are multiplayer, or at least were some form of cooperativeness. But then Pokemon is you play it on your own. I guess you can trade, but I would have played it mostly on my own.
Mhm.
And then Dishonored, I would have played mostly on my own, but that's got that whole traversal thing. That's a big mechanics game, right? That's the reason it's great is because it's fucking great to move around in that game. I mean, it also has a cool story, but that's secondary to me again. Like, so I guess it's Pokemon is the standout, really.
I can see that. Like, I guess with Pokemon isn't even really like, there is obviously an incredible depth of mechanics to Pokemon, but it is also like a turn-based battle system, which is like a far cry from like the fucking raw fluid motion of something like Dishonored or Titanfall or even like Towerfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, like there's barely really any move because obviously you do move around in the world, but that's super basic, isn't it? There's not much movement to it.
Yeah, no, it's just up, down, left, right. That's about it, really.
Yeah. Well, so is Towerfall, but in a different way.
Yeah, but you can jump in that.
In a whole different axes.
Hey, you can jump in Pokemon Ruby if you get the fucking bunny hop bike.
Shit.
Acrobat bike.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the
Gen
Acro
3
bike.
was tasty. Oh man, that's really interesting actually. I like that.
Also, special shout out to Spider-Man 2. Same reason as all those other ones.
You're a traversal boy.
Mate, that was the original. That's where my original love for Titanfall comes from. It's that Spider-Man 2. Shit, man, you could touch the ground in that. Spider-Man 1, you had to stay on rooftops.
Yeah.
Ground's where it's at, boys.
What are webs if not grappling hooks?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe permanent yo-yos.
What?
I'll leave you with that.
Oh man, that's too good. Jack,
Hello. Yes.
my man, what's up?
Yeah. No,
Totally.
I've got. I guess like my like list of 10 games is sort of a mixture between like, oh, this is just so basic and it probably deserves its own right in there anyway. But they are also those games the games that are like obvious and stuff have really like, you know, I've sat down and played them and they've had a memorable experience, or like a memorable experience I've had with a lot of the games on my list, if not all of them. So I guess let's start. I guess it wouldn't be a Jack list without at least one FIFA. I've gone with FIFA 17. And that's purely just because of the memories that I have sitting down and playing FIFA 17 like cooperative career mode with Jamie. That's purely what it is, and just sitting down and just, you know, having you guys in the room as well at the same time, screaming crawly off the top of your lungs.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, like that just sticks with me. I remember just sitting down playing FIFA one day, and then Jamie came down and he was like, "Hey Jack, do you want to play online?" I was like, "Man, I don't want to I don't really like playing online." And he was like, "Mate, we'll do 2v2 online, me and you." And I was like, "Okay." So we played one game of that, and then I don't think we won.
No, I mean, I imagine if you had one, you wouldn't have started playing the offline mode.
But yeah, so and then like Jamie turned to me and was like, "Hey, how about we load up one of our like career modes and just start playing that as like cooperative?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've got a career mode that I only just started." And we just sat down and it just became a thing where if none of us had like any work to be doing, I'd just walk down the stairs and be like, "Yo, Jamie, you up for some FIFA?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, sure." And then we just sit down and play for like 2 or 3 hours. Just like he would take control of all of like the training sessions and all of like the sort of micromanagement, and I'd do all of like the macro management stuff. And it was, I don't know, it was just for me, it was like a great experience.
Yeah, shit. I mean, I honestly, mate, I've got really fond memories of that as well. Of coming down and watching and just like bullshit while you guys play football.
Think of the fucking degrees of motion.
Oh man, so many degrees, and they're adding more every year.
Hey man, they didn't mention that this year. There's no more degrees of motion in the motion.
They've ran out.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess that's one game off my list. I've got a couple. Portal really sticks with me.
Yeah.
The first one, just being. I feel like that game was probably one of the like first puzzle games I actually really got into. And yeah, I actually think for that, you know, it's just. Yeah, that just sticks out for me, just sitting down. I mean, obviously the first one didn't have cooperative, and then the second one did. But yeah, I mean, just you know, looking at a room and then being given this portal gun and then having to sort of come up with your own unique solutions and just basically trial and error and then finally figure it out, and just going through that whole sort of process really just sticks with me as well.
I think that's that sort of Portal is what you're saying about it being the sort of first puzzle game thing. I think that's probably a key theme for a lot of people, right? It was a really good entry to puzzle games.
I think. For sure.
Yeah, and it had a big name attached to it at the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about Portal. Shit.
So yeah, like I put Portal in there. I guess again another weird one. It's not really that weird, but I guess it's just like into the reason I've put it on here is just because something from like high school is Mario Kart DS.
Yeah, I was considering that,
and I've put it on here purely based on the fact, again, just something, an experience that I've had with it. And I can't remember what for, but it was a couple of like classes in high school. We somehow went to Brighton on like a school day trip.
Right, I thought you were going to say you played it in the class then.
We ended up.
RE sucks, so we just sat in the back playing Mario Kart. It was fucking dope.
But yeah, I mean, like so we ended up going on this trip to Brighton on a coach, and it was just about like, I think there was 8 or 9 of us just sat at the back of the coach, and I think one person had Mario Kart DS, and obviously the way that it worked back then is that only one person needed Mario Kart DS because you could use like the Nintendo DS Share Play thing. And so we all just like, must have been like 10 or 12 of us or whatever, sat at the back playing Mario Kart on our DSs as we go into Brighton. And then we would do like, if you finished, I think it was like, if you finished top 4, then you get to stay on. And then if you finish bottom 4, you have to like trade your DS around with someone who hasn't played. And I just think that was just the fact that you could play a multiplayer game where only one of you had the actual game itself. It's just I think I'm disappointed that there weren't more games that were like that.
Yeah, there was like a few. So like Metroid Prime had a sort of
Yeah.
very basic one, but it was you could only play as one of the characters, and I know you could in Mario too,
You could
but
only
it
play as a Shy
mattered
Guy.
less. Like in Metroid, you could only play as I think like Samus's whatever it was battle thing. I don't know if you
Right.
remember the Metroid Prime DS game. Or
Metroid
ever
Prime
played it.
Hunters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so there was like a combat thing in that, which did have that. I don't know what they called it, share play or whatever. But yeah, it didn't work as well. I think Mario nailed it, didn't it? It was
That I
fun
also
experience.
I also have very fond memories, Jack, of being on a coach going somewhere and playing
Yeah,
a whole bunch of Mario Kart DS because that game is fucking sweet.
Yeah, man.
man, DSs were so good. Greatest of all time console. Hot take.
Goat seed.
So yeah, I
Wait,
guess
what?
sticking with the handheld thing. I guess Pokemon Yellow is up there for me. Probably you guys would have guessed that. You guys know that
Jack,
I'm a
did
massive-
you not hear Jaw?
Oh no, I didn't. What?
Move on. Don't
Okay.
don't
Just
feed the
carry
call,
on, Jack.
man.
It was
Sorry,
beautiful.
Jack.
Just keep going.
Oh man. But yeah,
Pokemon Yellow.
I think Pokemon Yellow for me really just sticks out. You guys know that I'm a massive Pokemon fan, and I think that I remember I've still got my Game Boy Color, and Pokemon Yellow was the first game that I ever had on it, and I just remember playing a ton of it then, and I still go back to it sometimes and play even more of it now because it's just again one of those ones from my childhood that just really sticks with me.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Pokemon Yellow is a good one. But mine, I was considering that, but it got ruined for me because my my brother's dickhead friend took my copy, claiming he could cheat in a character with it, and I said no, but he did it anyway. And then just replaced it with his broken copy, so I couldn't
man.
save it anymore.
Oh, that's shit.
Yeah, he also stole my brother's. He had like a limited edition, like Crystal Pocket Game Boy or something weird
Oh what?
from somewhere, and he stole that. He was a dick.
Sounds like a bad
Fuck
friend.
that guy.
You should
I think he was called
go
Mike, and whenever I think back to him, I picture Mo Sislak from Simpsons.
back.
Unfortunate.
Fuck that dick.
He can't have
Sorry.
been much older than early teens.
Yeah, like maximum sort of 12.
That's an unfortunate age to be compared to Mo Sislak.
Yep. Anyway,
Oh,
I don't
man.
need to vent in here. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Another one that you guys probably would have guessed, Borderlands. Again, I just like the style in that game, and it just gripped me from the get go. It's just one of those loot shooters that one of the redeeming features about it is the way that you complete the game one time round, and then it's like, hey, do you want to play your playthrough again? But you get to keep all of your super cool guns and shit that you collected before.
Yeah.
And then you just like level cap at like 60 or something, which is again, I mean, you guys know how much I love Borderlands, so I feel like it was only right to put it in there, really.
Is that the first one, or
Yeah.
2, or the pre-sequel, or what?
No, I mean, I enjoyed 2 and the pre-sequel, but I certainly feel like the first one certainly just sticks with me in memory because again, it's the first of the series, and I just instantly fell in love with the art style. So that's why that's on the list.
Yeah, shit.
yeah, I
that
mean,
game's well good.
I guess a couple of the other ones might be I don't know, quite obvious up there. I guess Chaw said as well, The Witcher 3. Honestly, after hearing the things that you said about it, Mark, and then finally actually getting the game myself and playing it, I understood why you sunk so many hours into that game and why you spoke so highly of it.
I mean,
Yeah.
fuck, man, you loved Gwent, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to be like, I'm amazed you're picking The Witcher 3 over Gwent. Like, holy shit.
Well, I mean, I guess the reason for it is like I was really into Gwent before like Gwent was actually released, and then Gwent.
You liked it before it was
thing.
cool.
Yeah, like it
Was
got
Gwent ever
released,
cool?
and then I was like,
Always.
yeah, okay. I played it for a bit, and then all of the updates and everything and changes in cars and stuff happened, and I was like, I don't like this
Yeah.
anymore. It's just too complex, and I was like, why can't they just keep it simple as it was?
Well, they're gonna add a single player mode to it, right? Soon.
I don't think, yeah, I don't think it has one yet. Obviously, I imagine there's still plans for it, but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, if like that's the, I guess one of the main reasons why. And I still think the original Gwent in the Witcher game was actually pretty decent as well.
Oh yeah,
I fucking love OG Gwent.
And then of course Modern Warfare 2 is on there as well because yeah, Mark, I've spoken to you about Modern Warfare 2 more times than I can count. It's just an awesome game and possibly the well, in my opinion, the best Call of Duty game that there is. I mean, okay, so it had, you know, it had a good setting with the first Modern Warfare game, Call of Duty 4, but I wasn't. I guess I don't know. I guess I came into Call of Duty on the end of Modern Warfare 1. So I came into it really around the time of World at War, and then Modern Warfare 2 was really just that. It's got a great campaign. The multiplayer is awesome as well. Some of the guns in that game are just I don't know. Yeah, it's just got so many good memories of sitting down and playing it playing it online with friends from high school and stuff. So
I would say if you want to hear me and Jack talk about Modern Warfare 2 at great length, go to Season 1, Episode 9 of Shouting Over Static, a video game show and tell podcast, where I believe him and I, with no one else on the show, talk about Modern Warfare 2 for about an hour, and just about how fucking good it is.
Yeah, it's an awesome game. A couple of ones on there as well. So the last couple, Skyrim. So Skyrim was, I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one for me because when it first came out, I guess it's of my own doing that I didn't fall in love with it at the start because I would always be that guy in those sort of games where it's open world and you can do what you want, but your action, you'll be held for your actions. So I'd always make it into like I'd start up Skyrim, start up a new character, do the first little bit of it, and then get to the first town, accidentally, I don't know, hit a farmer's chicken, and then the whole of that town just hates me. and then you just couldn't go back to that town, and that town was just like so essential to what you had to do in Skyrim. I was just like, well, I just can't do this anymore. So what's the point? So I guess like I sort of like fell out of love with it, but recently I've been playing it a bit more. And
shit.
It's just I don't know, like I'm actually trying to stick at it and not be that dickhead who just goes around and starts hitting random things. I'm actually trying to play it like you're meant to play it. And I don't know, it's like it's starting to grow on me a bit.
But the beauty of Skyrim is you can be that dickhead who can
yeah, you can, but
want,
I mean
right?
Just roleplay that shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but then they make you do something that's nice. I saw a good meme about this yesterday, in fact.
Tell us about your good memes, Dylan.
Huh?
Tell us about your good memes.
Well, sometimes you go into this kind of thing, like Skyrim. You want to be a bad guy, and then you do the main mission, and they make you save people.
That's why you just
My
kill
whole
them
thing
all
is that I
afterwards.
kill everyone.
That's why you
Fucking
save them just to kill
bastards.
them.
Good point. Finish the mission, then kill them all. Nice.
oh man.
Get your XP twice.
Oh.
Murder XP tastes the best.
Oh, that's why Diablo 3 is so good. All you can do is murder.
Yeah, you can also roll into chairs and benches.
Murder roll.
And
Yeah, I
pieces.
murdered that bench.
And then I guess the last couple that I've got on here, I guess I've got GTA 5 on there just because, the way that, I guess, just playing it at the start of uni, because what was it? It came out just as we started uni. What was it?
Yeah, man.
September 2013, was it? Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no.
September.
Yeah, it was September.
Yeah.
It came out when we started, right?
So it came out when we started, and I again, I guess one of the memories from uni is just sitting down and we organise a night out, and as our pre-drinks, we'd sit down and just play drinking GTA, which was brilliant. It was
The GTA 5
fantastic way
drinking
to be
game was
drunk.
huge.
Yeah,
The
man.
phrases that came out from Cameron were memorable.
Oh yeah, Cameron can't be trusted to be allowed in video games. But the GTA 5 drinking game was solid, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, so I guess that's why that's on there. And then the final game for me, I guess, a bit different to some of the other ones. Metal Gear Solid 4.
Ah,
Yeah.
And I guess like really, the I guess one of the main reasons that was is it was one of my mates in high school used to keep going on and on and on and on about Metal Gear, and I was
Clearly
just
has
like,
great taste.
Mark.
I don't understand what this is.
Shut the fuck up, Shaw.
Sorry, carry on.
And I don't know. I guess for like a really long amount of time, I was just like, I don't really know what Metal Gear is. I don't
Shut
really
up
care
about
for
all
it.
your anime shit, you bastard.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And then I remember going around to his house one time, and he just gave me the controller, and he was like, "Dude, just play it." And I like literally, I must have been like the weekend after that, I had like almost completed it, the entire game, because literally as soon
Wow.
as I left his the next day, I went and got it, and I just sat down and played it for like an entire week straight.
Mate, that is... Metal Gear Solid 4 is a hell of a Metal Gear to jump into.
Yeah, man.
And
Like, again, it's
it
just-
means a lot that it somehow came out as like one of your favourite games ever, because
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Yeah, mate. I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, like I guess again, it's similar to Dylan. It's not. I guess the game itself is good, but I guess it's just the experience that I had with it as well. After so many times you've been like, nah, man, I don't care about this, and then finally getting down and playing it and be like, holy shit.
And then be like, mate,
then,
if I
yeah,
hold down R1 in this cutscene, I can look at this lady's chest.
And like
This is a fucking video game.
just that final bit where you're rapidly tapping the A button just to try and like crawl your way through that giant fucking heat hallway or whatever the hell it is.
That scene
Yes.
will come up again in this podcast.
That's just insane, man. But yeah, I mean,
mate, that's going to be our first crossover.
that's my list. Yeah.
That Metal Gear 4 was sort of fucking out of nowhere,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Totally.
Yeah, shit, dude. I didn't expect Metal Gear Solid 4 to be sneaking on there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like,
I
what
say, it's
what
just-
what do you think is the outlier? What do you think is the prevailing trend in that?
I guess probably like the prevailing trend for me is just I don't know. I guess I'd guess probably just memories from childhood would be like the prevailing trend from it.
Man, loads of those games were from university.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
He's an adult now. He was a child then.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I don't know.
I thought you picked like 10 games that, apart from probably Metal Gear Solid 4, you picked 10 and maybe Portal, the games that are like really fun, like with quite
Yeah.
like a joyous atmosphere, like Borderlands.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
FIFA, like Pokemon Yellow, like quite upbeat, like quite fun, quite playful games. Call of Duty might be a bit serious, but like Portal's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like the reason Portal was such a smash hit was because it was good. It was a good puzzle game with a like secretly even better script.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like
And I mean-
yeah,
Even like Call of Duty, I think the reason a lot of people enjoyed those first ones was the story was good. The story was really great, but the multiplayer is, I think, what drew most people in, right? And that's, even though it's shooting people, I mean, Borderlands is too, it's still, the reason you enjoy it is for the fun of it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we had this in our live stream, didn't we? There was the whole Jack goes on till. I guess that sort of explains it enough, doesn't it? You don't want those games that some people get their enjoyment out of games by them being like stupidly fucking annoying,
yeah,
and some people hate that, which is perfectly reasonable. And I think that, like what you said, Mark, that really comes out in your list. It's like you enjoy games because they're fun to play, not because they're annoying or irritating. You enjoy them because they're fun, and that, I think that's a good way to enjoy games.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
that's a good point.
Yeah, like there was. It's obviously like it doesn't apply to every game on your list, but I certainly thought there were a lot of games there that were just like they're just some fucking fun ass video games, man. Like shit.
Yeah.
So, Mark, what about your list?
So my list is all over the fucking place.
Obviously.
So I put 10 games in a list, and then I was like, oh, I don't know if I can put these in order, and then I ended up doing like, as we spoke about this very briefly on the chat, I think I did like a sort of Top Gear style. Right, I'm going to put one game. I'm going to put one game underneath this whole list. I'm going to take one game out of it, put it there, and I'm going to put another game next to it. Be like, right, is it better or worse? I'm going to take another game out of it. Right, is it better or worse than this? Is it better or worse than that? And I sort of ordered my list to sort of like point by point comparisons. So I think I've got an ordered 10. I think.
Oh, okay.
So at 10, we've got Max Payne.
Oh, okay.
Which is an old early 2000s PC shooter that is just like super slick, really stylish. It like fucking. I'm fairly certain there's an interview out there somewhere with the guys who made Max Payne being like, actually, we came up with bullet time before The Matrix, and it just took our game longer to come out than the film The Matrix. So like, yeah, it's super slick, super stylish, and it's got a really cool story that it presents through like fake graphic novels and stuff. It's really really cool, and I have a strong connection with trying to play it and finding it really really hard for years and years and playing, but still always playing like repeatedly playing through like the first of 3 acts, and then eventually going back to it and like smashing out the whole game in one day and just being like, shit, dude, this game is epic. At 9, GTA San Andreas.
Yeah, fair. That's again, speaks for itself, really.
Yeah, I 100%ed that game. Like I found every single fucking spray paint tag, every photo shoot, every fucking oyster out in the sea. Like I did every single thing you could do in that game. I'd lost hundreds of hours into it.
Shit, man.
There was a point where you could turn off the minimap, and because it did have like a rudimentary multiplayer in it, and so like you could go to special points and someone else could play with you. So we did used to play it a lot. And my thing, and like I'd play it with people, and then eventually be like, Mark, you drive, because I just knew the map like the back of my hand. And like you could turn the minimap off, and you could put me in one bit, and you could say the name of a street. Not even like go to this part of the game. You could say the name of a street. You could just drive straight there. Like I'd played so much of it that I just fucking knew that. I knew that world better than like my hometown at that point. It was fucking crazy.
Fuck.
Then Giant Citizen Kabuto, which we've talked about before.
Nice.
Which is, whatever, man. That game's fucking funny. That game's great.
Cool.
That game's so fucking funny. Command and Conquer Red Alert 2 comes in at number 6, which I don't know. If I'm putting that at number 6, you can tell why I was a little bit heartbroken that EA have fucking turned Command and Conquer into a Clash Royale clone.
Oh god, yeah.
That's so fucking awful.
Yeah, but at CNC Red Alert 2 again, like all the full motion video in it is hilarious. All of the writing in it's really on point. The gameplay is probably not the best they did, or at least I thought. Like I have very fond memories of playing that. Like a lot. Again, I played a lot of that. Ratchet and Clank 2 comes in next, which I think that must have come up on the show as well. Ratchet and Clank 2 is so fucking good. Like Ratchet and Clank 2 is excellent. I know. I think. Do you like the Ratchet and Clank games as well, Dylan? Is it you, Dylan, or is it you, Chor? It's one of you two, isn't it?
I definitely like them.
Probably.
Well, okay, it's Dylan. Yeah. Ratchet and Clank 2 was a friend of mine who lived down the street lent me his copy of Ratchet and Clank 2 for the PlayStation 2, and I played it and absolutely loved it and was obsessed with it. And I think I managed to get through like one play, and then like the New Game Plus, the challenge mode, before I had to give it back. And then I saved up all my monies and I bought my own copy of it and just kept playing that challenge mode. and like got all the weapons up to like their max level and got into like the mega weapons and stuff. It's just so much fun. And again, there is a theme here. Really funny, really good writing, like super like good dialogue to it. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's amusing. It's got a good sense of humor to it. Hitman 2016 I put on here as
Oh.
number 5.
That was one of the obvious ones, right? You fucking love that game.
Yeah, I love all the Hitman games, apart from Hitman 5 because it's bad. And this one is the best one. Like I think there are some weird Hitman purists who like get upset that in Hitman 2016 all the NPCs don't have like regional accents because apparently all of the really bad Chinese accents in the first game are better than everyone just having like a neutral accent. I don't know. I think it's the best one of them they've ever done. I think it's fucking incredible. I love that whole series, and that one. It's like the biggest levels, the most different things in the levels to actually do. Like the stealth is the best in it, the movement's the best in it. Like it, yeah, it's the first one of those games that's really, really like played well, and like you can
Yeah.
execute on your stealth shit the exact way you want to execute on your cool stealth shit. And then also, it's fucking hilarious too. Like there's a part in that game. I say it's hilarious in a less obviously funny way. It's quite morbidly funny, like the level where you can convince a guy that he's being haunted by the ghost of his recently deceased mother, and then dress up like his dead mum and spook him to death.
Oh shit!
Spook him to death.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah,
Oh wow!
it's a funny fucking game. Number 4, The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be explained. Apart from, we'll come back to this because there's something about the Ocarina of Time. But number 3, Metal Gear Solid 4, The Guns of the Patriots.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah, Jack, as you said, it's a fucking brilliant game. That bit at the end where you're just jamming on triangle for like a full 15 minutes.
it's
while,
so
like,
long.
Yeah, while like
It goes on
cutscenes are playing all around you, it's great.
So far, that's our only crossover,
man.
right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And like when you get to the end of that and you get out onto the roof of Arsenal Gear and Liquid Snake's there and you're just two fucking sweaty old men who have got nothing left to live for, and you just have that epic fucking fight. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And when they have the fight and then they fall into the mirror image of each other and they parry each other's blows perfectly, and they like land on the floor next and they're like kneeling facing each other, and they pick up the nano syringes that are going to suppress the nanomachines and give them just a bit more time left to fight, and they fucking inject each other because all they have left is this last fight in their lives. So fucking good. Ah. Yeah, it's so good. And and also like I loved all those games, and so
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 5 it plays better than Metal Gear Solid 4 will ever play, but Metal Gear Solid 5 is not the culmination of 3 big games worth of really intense storytelling, and Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid 4 is.
Yeah. I think as well, like I know it's gone offline now, but I think certainly in the early days of it was just playing Metal Gear Solid Online. And
Yes.
just, like sneaking around in a box, like playing hide and seek and whatever.
No one else used the cardboard box.
No.
Too
It was a
obvious.
Yeah, like the whole thing of Metal Gear Solid is in a cardboard box, and yet in the online multiplayer, if you sat in a cardboard box with a shotgun, people would just run right past you, not even look. You could pop out of that cardboard box, shotgun over the back of the head, get back in the box, and just win
That's
like
why
every
it
single
works.
round. It was so good.
You think playing Metal Gear Solid is like, oh, this AI is so stupid they don't realize I'm in this box. It makes sense. Multiplayer is proof of this.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, nobody ever checks the fucking boxes. And those levels were really well designed as well, because they would intentionally have several points in each level where there'd just be big stacks of cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
So it was really easy to just like sidle in. My number 2 spot is Mass Effect 1.
Ah, right. I was wondering when that's
Because
going to
Fair. I'm not.
yeah,
I
were you
don't know.
wondering where it would come in, Joe?
Yeah.
I don't know too much about like the earlier Mass Effect games. I mean, I guess like the only ones that I've played are 3 and some of Andromeda. But yeah, I mean, I've got a
Weird
lot of love
pair
for
to
the
pick.
Mass Effect games.
Yeah, Mass Effect 1 is. Oh, it's so good. It's a weird one, right? Because there's an argument to be made for Mass Effect 2 as well. Because like Mass Effect 1 is kind of like a clunky, knackered kind of RPG in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But the way that it so deftly establishes such a complete and robust science fiction universe without stumbling at any point, really. It in one game, in a fucking hour, in the first maybe like 3 hours of playing that game, it perfectly, completely establishes a whole new sci-fi universe full of potential and mystery and interesting races, and it does it in a way that like you go back and watch original Star Trek. Fucking Star Trek couldn't do it this well. Like the way Mass Effect does it, and obviously it builds on. Mass Effect is so good because it takes everything that all of sci-fi has done and does it really well, and just goes, look, here is this whole thing, and all the races are really well defined,
Yeah.
and the central mystery of the Reapers is done well, and like the music in that game is fucking incredible.
God, yes.
And yeah, and like the art design is really fucking choice, and like the use of film grain to make the whole thing seem like some proper old school science fiction as well, just to add to the overall tone of it, is just it's such a well executed piece of science fiction that like yeah, there's a craft to Mass Effect 1 that even when you go, well, all the combat in that game was fucking terrible, it's still kind of incredible. And my number one spot, I don't know. Can you guess my number one spot? If you say you can guess some of my obvious ones, this one's pretty obvious, I think.
Fuck, now I put on the spot. Shit. It's got to be Half-Life, right?
Yeah, it's Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Ah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's Half-Life 2, man. So it was always going to be. I've probably played the campaign of Half-Life 2 15 times, easily.
Fuck.
Shit.
That's many.
That's
Yeah.
more than
Yeah, it's another one, a bit like GTA, where you put me in Half-Life 2, I could just fucking run through it, just smash it. I love it.
I've still never played it.
Oh, it's so good. Everything about it's incredible. Yeah, it's what an achievement. I think it does so much with so little, and it takes the really interesting things that Half-Life 1 does and fleshes it out into this like incredible world, and it does it super, super well, and it plays really nicely. And importantly, or what was important to me at the time when I was playing it all those years ago, it's just a mastercraft in video game production as well, because it ran like a dream on my shitty old computer. Like I played the first probably 3 times I played through Half-Life 2. I played through it at like 800 by 600,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
but
So-
it ran like a dream because the Source engine was a great fucking engine.
You played it when it first came out? Or
Yeah.
a few years later? Oh my god, yeah.
I played it. So my brother got it for Christmas 2004, so the year it came out. And he very quickly, by probably about February time or so, realised that he fluctuated in and out of liking video games, and he was like, oh yeah, I like video games again, so I want to get. Funny enough, he got Half-Life 2 and GTA San Andreas for that Christmas. And then within a few months had gone, actually, no, I'm off video games again. I'm going to get into skateboarding or something.
What
So
a
I was
nerd.
like, well, I still like video games. And, well, see, they're both on my top 10. So yeah, but
Yeah.
fucking Half-Life 2 is holy shit, dude. Again, another one, great music, great art design. Yeah, and there's another one as well where probably once a year I play through, if not all of it, most of it. Usually
Yeah.
in a sitting as well, because once you know what you're doing in that game, you can get through it at a fair fucking clip, and it's not a very long game.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Fucking
shorter
jump
than the
off
first
a
Half-Life.
plank of wood, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's got sweet speedrunning tricks in it as well.
What I'm surprised by is your list is sort of one of those. They're all like fundamentals of games, but ones that aren't necessarily the huge obvious ones. So, like, I think when you hear them, you're just like, yeah, that makes sense that that's on there. There's nothing outrageous, but at the same time, it's nothing that. It's none of the obvious stuff either. If you get what I'm saying.
Hey?
Yeah,
It's obvious for you. I mean,
no, I totally get that's actually not the connection I found, but it's funny because I totally get what you mean, and also I think the outlier from that is the exact same in the connection I found as well.
oh yeah,
So
Which
if you
one's
look at that as like, oh, these are the fundamentals, but they're not the ones you'd expect, apart from Ocarina of Time.
yeah, that's you expect that one. Like that's in any list of greatest of all time, like sort of not person by person. That's always there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but the thing I saw about it was that for 9 of these games, I really, really connected with the writing or the story in like quite
Yeah.
a powerful way. It was either I found the writing enjoyable or I found the story enjoyable. Apart from Ocarina of Time, where the story is incidental. Ocarina of Time's got incredible music. Like, I still listen to the soundtrack to Ocarina of Time, and it's fucking great, and I have powerful memories of it to the point where I can't not put it on this list. But the story doesn't really resonate with me. It doesn't resonate with me. I don't find myself accidentally quoting obscure lines from Ocarina of Time like I do from basically all these other games.
Yeah, I guess it's significantly harder to quote obscure lines from Ocarina of Time, right? Because there is words in it, but it's all written, right?
Yeah.
It just feels like when something's subtitles, you're significantly less likely to quote it.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And it's easier to ignore the story then as well, isn't it? Because it's like, fuck this, skip that, skip.
It's like, I've got to go to this temple, and then the temple's awesome, and it's got great music, and it's like, well, now I just have to go to the next temple.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't see that at all. That's an interesting one, actually, Dylan. And obviously, like, the one that I would never expect to be, not only on none of your lists, but I wouldn't really expect it to be on the vast majority of other games of all time lists, is obviously Giant Citizen Kabuto.
Yeah, that's a good point. That doesn't tie in with the fundamentals of gaming. I forgot about that.
Like, ties in with the fundamentals of being totally fucking dope. Whatever, man. I'm going to have to find the credits on that and find out who the game director was. Just send him an email, even though now he probably doesn't even work in video games anymore. Just be like, mate, you're my hero.
You made it to our GOAT list, boy.
Tag him on Twitter. Wait, that's my job.
That is your job. Fuck, Chor.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'd always like hearing people talk about their favourite games and why those games are their favourite and why they've connected with them, and hearing people talk about these, like, powerful experiences they've had. It makes me a tiny, tiny bit depressed that everyone else was like, oh, this one means a lot because I did it with this person. This one means a lot because I did it with this person. And I was just like, this one means a lot because I sat by myself for 200 hours playing it.
Mate, solo experiences
I guess
are worth it. They define you, right? That's why they're so powerful as well.
fucking hell, Chor. Way to get deep. Shit, man.
Sorry, were you about to just come
I think
up
a
with
big-
not deep thing at all?
there's a big difference as well, though, right? Like, Mark, your siblings are quite older than you, right?
Much, much older.
So you're less likely to play the games with them, but also you're not going to look for a sibling in the game. So I guess, like, this isn't necessarily why you do it, sure, but there's sort of that element of you find sort of that companionship in those sort of things as well. Whereas I guess if you've already got a sibling, fuck it, whatever. I'll just play this solo game because I can.
Yeah, I can totally appreciate that line.
So there may be an aspect of that they're playing into it. But I was super surprised. Like, I've only just thought of this now, so it might have actually ended up in my game on my list had I thought about it. But nobody mentioned any Tony Hawk games.
Yeah. I tell you what, TPS 2 was close. That Pro Skater 2 was it was a close contender, but it just missed out because, like, I still listen to the soundtracks of those games, and even though I love playing them, they don't necessarily have like the same connection with me. But I have a playlist on my iPod that is the soundtrack to Pro Skater 2 and 3, and I listen to it regularly. Like, those games are fucking sick, but yeah.
Yeah, but at least someone thought about it. I'd just forgotten about it, which is sad.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but then, like,
probably
also,
why it didn't end up on my list.
But, like, Jack said Portal, and the other three of us went, oh, shit, yeah, Portal.
Yeah, true. We just play a lot of games, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that we like. It's a lot of good games.
Yeah, I mean, there was loads that didn't make it, like Gunpoint. I really like that. And again, a weird traversal thing. I could have easily switched that on there instead of Risk of Rain. I think Risk of Rain just made it because I got more of that experience of playing it with you, Mark. And I probably played it longer.
I'm a bit surprised, Dylan, that you didn't pick speedrunners.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I was thinking about it, but I think those other games are definitely more significant for me. Speedrunners I really enjoyed, and like we had a really good time, but we really only played it. So I played it a few times. I played it quite a bit on my own, but not too much. No, not as much as Risk of Rain or Towerfall or anything like that. And we played it as a group a few times, but still not that much. So, like, I did enjoy it, but I think those other ones had more of an impact for me. Yeah. Although I do fucking love speedruns. Just because I'm so damn good at it. Man, I understand physics so well. Grappling hooks, boy. Oh.
You disgust me.
Grappling hooks are the ultimate game mechanic. I want a game that is exclusively grappling hooks. Shit. Ninja Zero. That should have been on there. Final Ninja maybe. Did you ever play that? It was a Nitrom game.
No.
No idea.
Final Ninja Zero. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. So that's actually... It wasn't exclusively grappling hooks, but that was a hell of a lot of grappling hooks. 2D, just flash game. I think that would actually... Maybe that'd make it onto my list. Because I used to play flash games like fucking nobody's business. And that was one of the best ones. So... Grappling hooks, flash games, Final Ninja Zero. Let's go.
Sick.
Your bitches need to get on that. It's too good.
Well, with that, I don't know. I thought that was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I like hearing what games people think are on their favourites. I would have completely forgotten about Chaw's dalliance with EVE Online if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, I had forgotten.
Yeah.
I'd blocked it out of my memory. It was a bad time for everyone. There were nights I'm fairly certain you stayed in instead of going out with us because you needed to play EVE.
Maybe. That happened. I'm not sure.
I am.
No, I think it definitely happened.
Well, gentlemen, that has been an SOS Extra top 10 goat.
It's been a big extra as well.
We missed the Billy goat.
What?
It's top 10 goats. Surely I'm not explaining this fucking joke. You're right. It's been a big extra. This has been a fucking double extra. I am so done. I'm not explaining my bad puns to you. This has been SOS Extra. I've been here with Dylan, Jack, and Chaw. Say bye, gents.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I have been your host, Mark. You can catch us on iTunes, you can catch us on SoundCloud, you can catch us on YouTube. Get onto Google, search for Shouting Over Static. It will give you links to all three of those things. Thank you very much. Why am I thanking people? Thanks for listening, I guess.
Yeah. Fucking
Thanks
hell,
for
Mark.
listening to us ramble for an hour and 20 minutes. It's going to be an absolute bastard to edit. Right?
It's easy. Just chop the beginning off, chop the end off. You're done. Like a celery.
Oh, maybe. That sounds really lazy, but maybe I'll have to do it. Right, then.
You've also got to get that, whatever the sound clip was from I'm Just In My Pants. Got to put that in the entire thing as well. Don't forget that.
I'll just search near the end.
Yeah, fair enough.
Bye.
Or the beginning. Bye.